should be a good one. Back after this on the IHSA Internet Radio Network.
Big changes in your life can come in all sizes. And whether your big change weighs 7 pounds and cries when she's hungry, or is 2 stories high and sits on a 1-acre lot, your local Country Insurance and Financial Services agent can help see that you're properly covered with our no-obligation insurance and financial review. Your Country agent will make sure your home, life, and auto insurance are up to date for your needs, so your risks are minimized, plus offer meaningful solutions and help you make the necessary changes, even those changes that you wish you could avoid as long as possible. Say your teenager's 16th birthday is approaching, or you're creeping ever closer to retirement. We'll help you figure out which policies and plans are best for you. It's personal service, because there's nothing more personal than what's changing in your daily
championship. High school sports and activities play an important role in every Illinois community. They help young people learn important lessons and develop valuable life skills. And it's been that way for more than 100 years.
I can't imagine my community without high school sports and activities.
Be a fan. Join the fun. Support your local high school athletic and activity programs. This message has been brought to you by the IHSA, celebrating more than 100 years of high school sports and activities in Illinois.
All right, welcome back here to Silver Cross Field. As we're about ready to go here, let's take a quick look at the batting orders now for tonight's ball game. The 2007 Class AA State Championship baseball game. First off for New Trier. Leading off and in left field will be James Hall. Mac Murphy batting second and at second base. Center fielder Sam Franklin will be batting third. Chris Lashman, the third baseman, batting fourth. Ben Gardner, the shortstop, batting fifth. Will Neal will be batting sixth. He'll be the designated hitter. Danny Pritz will be batting seventh. He'll be the right fielder. Dylan Napoleon batting eighth at first base. And then T.J. O'Donnell batting ninth. He will be the catcher. They're going up against Neuqua Valley starter Ben Gibson. And here to call the first 2 innings, here's Dave Bernhard.
Thank you very much, Tom, as Ben Gibson is ready to deliver to James Hall. And our first pitch is in there. It's on the inside corner, taken for a strike. Gibson on the season for Neuqua Valley, a 4-3 record, 2.45 earned run average. In 40 innings, he's given up 32 hits, struck out 20, and walked 6. So he is not a strikeout pitcher, but he's going to put the ball in play, and Hall does. Drives it deep to right field. Right fielder Krupe back on that track and makes the catch. Hall gave it a ride and took it all the way out in front of the billboards in deep right field.
Boy, and again, the Sun Field playing a little bit of a role there, I think, as Krupe and the right fielder, when we go to the bottom of the inning, the Neuqua Valley right fielder, who will be Danny Pritz. They're going to have to look right into the sunshine here for probably about the first 3.5, 4 innings of the ball game, but no problem there on that play for the right fielder, Krupe.
Mac Murphy, the second baseman, steps in for New Trier. He swings the first pitch. Foul tip off the glove of the catcher, Brad Kimball. Defensively for Neuqua Valley, from left to right, it's Jeff Rowan. He had a no-hitter in the semifinals earlier today. He's in left, Pete Back and Chris Krupe in the outfield. Third to first, Adam Carver. Rob Elliott's at short. He's a good one. Anthony Amade's had a great tournament at second. Pete Batali is at first, and the catcher, Brad Kimball. Gibson's pitch is grounded to the left side. Elliott backhands it in the hole. Long throw from shortstop. Got his man. Big-time play by the shortstop, Rob Elliott.
Boy, Elliott deep in the hole there. In addition, at first base, Pete Batali. I don't know off the top of my head how tall he is, but he looks like he's about at least 6'5", and he was able to use that long reach as well to haul down a high throw, and there are now 2 down in the inning.
Batali listed at just 6 feet tall, but he did stretch every inch of that 6 feet, but what a job by Rob Elliott. He's headed to Bradley University. Flashed the leather there.
Well, 6'5" might be an overstatement, but he looks at least 6'2", don't you think?
He does. Here's Sam Franklin in the batter's box. He'll tap it to the pitcher. Gibson picks it up. He'll toss to first, and that's a very quick 1-2-3 inning for Neuqua Valley, retiring the Trevians from New Trier in order. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning. Neuqua Valley will get their shots here in a state championship game that you're listening to on the IHSA Internet Radio Network.
Why can't you catch a whale with a worm? Dad, can we go to the moon on vacation?
If you think it's tough answering these questions, imagine the ones you'll get if your child is diagnosed with cancer. CureSearch.org is a website that can help. It connects you to the doctors and scientists whose collaborative research has turned childhood cancer from a nearly incurable disease to one with an overall cure rate of 78%. CureSearch.org. You're not as alone as you feel.
Brought to you by CureSearch and the Ad Council.
And welcome back now here as we head to the bottom half of the first inning. No score for New Trier in their half of the opening frame. And now let's take a look at the batting order for Neuqua Valley here. And leading off and at shortstop will be Rob Elliott batting second. will be the third baseman, Adam Carver. Batting third, the catcher, Brad Kimball. Batting fourth will be the left fielder, Jeff Rowan. In the number 5 slot, it'll be Pete Vitale. He is the first baseman. Travis Weldon, the designated hitter, batting 6th. Chris Krupe, the right fielder, batting 9th. And then, in right field, batting 7th, I beg your pardon. And then batting 8th will be Anthony Amade, the second baseman. And then batting 9th will be the center fielder, Pete Back, as Will Hebard will be going for New Trier, one of a great number of pitchers, or a number of great pitchers, if you will, headed to Division I, the Division I ranks of college baseball. Hebard himself is headed out east, is he not?
He is headed to Villanova, and he'll try to make his college in the state. 6'7" Will Hebard is ready to go, and he'll face Rob Elliott to get things started here in the bottom of the first for Neuqua Valley. Elliott goes swinging at the first pitch. He hits this one pretty deep center field. Sam Franklin giving ground. Back he goes, and he stumbles and makes the catch just shy of the warning track in deep center. So we have seen 2 balls here, both by the leadoff hitters, driven deep here in the outfields at Silver Cross Field.
And it looks like tonight so far, Dave, both teams are coming out aggressive. I mean, we had a lightning quick first inning, and there we had a first pitch swinging Rob Elliott. So both of these teams trying to be aggressive, perhaps trying to be the first team to get on the board, which is always important.
That will bring up Adam Carver. Carver, third baseman. Fastball from Hebard, a little bit outside. Defensively for New Trier, James Halls in left, Sam Franklin in center. Danny Fritz is the right fielder. Get you that infield in just a moment. Hebard has his sign, the kick, the delivery. And this ball is popped up behind home plate. Catcher T.J. O'Donnell has a beat on it, and he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. Defensively, it is Chris Flashman at third. Ben Gardner is a shortstop for the Trevians. Mac Murphy's at second. Dylan Napoleon is over at first. We mentioned T.J. O'Donnell behind the plate. Well, that will bring us to Brad Kimball, the catcher for Neuqua Valley. Kimball, an offensive threat. 445 batting average coming into this tournament. He swings the first pitch as a curveball. He missed it by a mile. In the tournament, Kimball 3 of 8. He's driven in a run. That gives him 58 RBIs on the season. That is a school record in Neuqua Valley. He also has a pair of doubles, giving him 20 for the year. That pitch scoots away from the catcher O'Donnell, and the count evens at a ball and a strike.
Well, the lights on here now at Silver Cross Field, although it will be a long while before they take effect. And
next pitch from Hebard is up a little bit high.
Just about to say, actually, if you have a quick 7-inning game, I remember last year when we had what at the time was a record quick game, it was still quite a bit of light remaining when we packed up and went home.
Fastball high. It's 3 balls and a strike to Kimball. The shadows here at Silver Cross Field. It's a 2-level stadium, so you will get the shadow effect. The shadows from the upper deck have extended onto the infield now. The right side of this field bathed in sunlight. 3-1 pitch. It's outside, ball 4. Kimball will go down to first base with the 2-out walk. And we will get a courtesy runner for him. Running for the catcher for Neuqua Valley, as he has throughout this tournament, Jason David. I tell you what, you talk about a courtesy runner or a pinch runner that's had some action. He scored 4 runs here in this tournament. Now we'll bring up Jeff Rowan, the hero, one of many, but the spotlight shone brightest on him this afternoon. A 5-inning no-hitter. It was the first no-hitter in the state tournament, either A or AA, since 1997. Right-handed hitting left fielder. We'll look at a pitch low for a ball. Rowan on the season, 347 batting average. He's driven in a couple of runs in this tournament. He is 3 for 7 with 3 runs scored. So he has been in the middle of everything for the Wildcats from Neuqua Valley. Everett into the stretch. David to the lead at first. The kick and the delivery. Ball fouled away deep right field. This will bound up on the concourse, take another hop, go off the building that is attached to this field in foul territory in right field, and will end up down in a storage area outside this park. The first time the boys AA tournament has been played in Joliet. What a fantastic facility this is. Hebard's next pitch is again fouled away into the stands on the right field side.
Happened to be chatting earlier on with Dave Sirico, the high school baseball beat writer for the Chicago Tribune. Writes a blog, calls it Take Two and Go to Right. And he said that all of the media seemed to be very, very pleased, and the fans seem to be very, very pleased with this facility.
There's a swing and a miss, and the ball in the dirt. O'Donnell will pick it up. He's going to throw it first to Napoleon, who makes the grab on the low throw, and that will retire the side. So neither team has hit the scoreboard yet. We've only had one base runner, but we've only played one inning. A lot to go here in your 2007 Boys AA State Baseball. This may be the toughest middle three of any team that has played here in Joliet this year. We started with Chris Lashmet, third baseman, 6 feet 5 inches, 225-pound third baseman, headed to Northwestern. He'll take a strike from Ben Gibson to start this inning off. Lashmet in this tournament has just continued to do what he's done all year, drive in runs. He's driven in 4. He has 64 RBIs in the season, and he waves at that next off-speed delivery from Gibson. 451 batting average for Lashmet. You can add a 3 for 7 performance onto that. No extra base hits yet in the tournament for Lashmet, but anytime it's been an RBI situation, he's produced. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Gibson. There's a base hit to right field, in the hole between first and second. Ball was on the outside part of the plate. A good hitter will take it that way, and that's what Lashmet did.
Boy, just hypothetically, if there had been a runner on first, that would have been a perfect place to shoot through a hit and run. I mean, you're right. He went with it and just fired it out to right field, and so New Trier has their first base runner of the ball game aboard here in the top of the second inning as Ben Gardner ready to step to the plate here for New Trier.
Ben Gardner, 6-foot senior shortstop, 394 batting average. Lashmet will take the lead at first. Gibson will glance over his shoulder. Pretty good lead for Lashmet. He stays. The pitch, a little off-speed delivery, is a called strike in the outside corner. And we saw it last night at about this time, Tom. First baseman, in this case Pete Vitale, looking dead into the sun, and he's got to look for a potential pickoff throw from Gibson. Here's the one-strike pitch. Just missed down and away a little bit.
Yeah, it was the St. Rita first baseman Barrage, who literally got blinded by the sun trying to take a pickoff throw, and he had to be tagged with a tough error. They ruled it an E3, but that is a tough assignment right down there at first base.
Gibson misses down and away from the right-handed hitting Gardner. Count goes to 2-1. Lashmet has stretched his lead a little bit at first base. He's off there a little bit, and he takes another half step. Now the throw drives him back, and he dives back safely. You know, from up here, we can read the numbers and lose track of how big some of these guys are. New Trier came up for the post-game press conference today. Gardner, or Lashmet, was up there. My goodness, he's every bit of that 6 feet 5 inches. He was standing right next to 6-foot 6 inch Trey Frailer, who was a starting and winning pitcher in the semifinal. Next pitch to Gardner, swing and a miss, a little bit in front of it, as Gibson took a little bit off that pitch.
Yeah, one of the nice new things here at Silver Cross Field is the fact that right behind us here on the suite level, where all of the press facilities are located, they bring the players up for the post-game press conference, and you get a chance to talk with them close up.
Here's another base hit to right field. Hitting behind the runner is Gardner. Lashmet will stop at second as very quickly Krupe comes up with it, but New Trier has runners aboard at first and second to start the second inning.
Not quite a hit and run with a little bit of a slower runner there at first base, but again, perfectly placed into right field, and New Trier has it going here now as their first two batters have been able to reach base here in the top half of the second inning now.
Let's see how head coach Mike Napoleon in his 11th year at New Trier with the state championship under his belt in 2000, a second place trophy in 99. Let's see how he elects to play it. First baseman Pete Vitale playing well behind the runner at first. Will Neal is at the plate. He's also an RBI machine. He'll swing and chop it to third baseman. Carver has it, drops it, will throw across to first, and we will get him on the tag. Vitale was off the bag, and somehow he made the catch and tagged Neal on the helmet, so they get the out at first base. Now Mike Napoleon is asking for some help here. He's coming down. I believe the first base umpire called him out. I believe he said he got him on the head. Now Napoleon will come across the other way, and I think with the six-man umpiring crew here, Napoleon's going to say, hey, can I get a little help here from any other umpires?
Well, just in case, Neal remains standing at first base, as it looks as if the bases are loaded here, but I don't think that'll end up to be the case here. That was a tough play at third base there for Carver. It was sharply hit, and now Neal will retreat, and that will in fact be the first out of the inning. But Carver, I think, made a little bit of a mental error in that he wanted to go to third to force the lead runner, and I think that is the reason why he took the ball, his eye off the ball, and that's the reason why he bobbled it. Now, he did recover well to get the runner at first base, but now the other two runners able to advance, and now New Trier has runners, two in scoring position at second and third with one down in the inning.
Head coach for Neuqua Valley, Robin Renner, in his 9th year, 209 victories, will play his infield back here with one out. Runners at second, third, top of the second of a scoreless game. At the plate is Danny Pritz, the right fielder. The first pitch to him is in the dirt, 1 ball. I swear if you're an Neuqua Valley fan, even though it's early, you're looking for strikeout pop-up. Gibson will work from his stretch with runners aboard at second and third. Here's his pitch, squeeze attempt. It's a push bunt hard down that first base line. Just goes foul just as it got to the first base bag. Oh my, Fritz got every bit of that one.
He did bunt the ball. It went about 2/3, Dave, up the line, and he almost was able to curl it around the bag down the line for what might have been an extra base hit.
Unbelievable.
Well, that was one of the harder bunts I think I've ever seen.
The idea was just get it down to score the runner from third. That would be Lashman. So he'll retreat. We have 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out here in the top of the second inning.
I like the squeeze call there. Perfect time for it.
Fritz waits, and they'll fake a pickoff throw to third.
Well, Dave mentioned the shadows earlier on, and right now, Ben Gibson is in the sunlight, but the shadow now is moving up to just in front of the pitcher's rubber, so probably about 98% of the flight of the ball is now in shadow.
1-1 pitch hit hard to center field. Retreating as a center fielder back. He's going back. He will make the catch over the shoulder. Runners will tag. Lashman will score, and they will wave in. Wait a minute. They say that the runner at second did not tag up. Now, did the runner at third tag up? Back made the catch.
It was a great play, Dave, by Back, who went back towards the power alley in right center field, reached up, and it's a bright part of the wall there where the billboards are, so we had to wait a minute to make sure he caught the ball, and he came right back up and fired, and now a large meeting. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 9 people, and up 9 people, now 10, 7 of them in one uniform or another, and then 3 umpires huddling around. And it looks like a base running error will take New Trier out of a great scoring opportunity if what looks like will happen will hold here.
Yeah, let's explain what's going on now. This was runners at second and third. Lashman was at third. Garner at second. The ball was hit deep to right center. It was a great catch by the center fielder Back. Well, I looked up, and Lashman was coming in to score. Now, the question was, I assumed he tagged up. The runner at second, Gardner, evidently didn't, because Neuqua Valley, after the catch, they went and quickly threw the ball to second base to get the force out of the man who didn't tag up at second. However, if they had gone to third base first, I'm not sure whether...
Third base, and we're ready for the next half inning, Dave.
Just like that we are. Here we go. Pete Vitale to lead it off. Neuqua Valley trailing 1-0. Robin Renner still having a conversation. Actually, he's talking to Chris Lashman at third base right now, kind of laughing a little bit with him. And stepping in will be Pete Vitale, the number 5 hitter. For the Wildcats from Neuqua Valley, they trail 1-0. Here's the first pitch from Will Hebert. It's high and away.
So an unusual run there. And New Trier with the early lead.
Another pitch outside. It's 2-0.
Although, again, I will say the base running mistake potentially costing New Trier at least the opportunity, if not actually a second run there.
This one is wide. It's 3-0.
Well, since the ball was caught, you know, when the ball was hit and Back was chasing back towards the power alley, right center field, you knew, at the very least, even if he made a great catch, which he did, the run was going to score.
That pitch is high, ball 4, leadoff walk on 4 pitches to Vitale.
However, had the runner came back and tagged up in time, they would have had a runner at third base and a chance to add that run, but right now it remains a 1-0 ball game.
You know, the Neuqua Valley did try to go back and tag third base, trying to assume or hope that Lashman didn't tag up, but that was not the case. But back we go. Let's bring it to action here in the bottom of the second inning. Nobody out, runner at first at the plate. Left-handed hitting designated hitter Travis Weldon.
Shadows now out past the mound, although most of the fielders are still in sunlight. In fact, all but the pitcher and the catcher and the third baseman here.
Very quickly, Hebert goes to 2-0 on Weldon, and he starts out this bottom of the second inning with 6 straight balls, and his second baseman is Mac Murphy coming in to have a conversation. Now everybody will join in on the mound just to get Hebert to relax a little bit after that strange top half of the inning. So official scoring-wise, give Denny Pritz credit for an RBI on the sacrifice fly. The double play comes on that catch, and then doubling up Gardner at second base. But a run is a run. That's what the Wildcats from Neuqua Valley with a 34-8 record will look to match here in the bottom half of this inning. Travis Weldon at the plate, number 6 hitter in the Neuqua Valley lineup, Chris Krupe to follow. Vitale is at first with nobody out. Being held on there by Napoleon. Outfield straight away for Weldon. He's a designated hitter, batting for the pitcher, Ben Gibson. Pitch is down, that's another ball. It's 3-0, that's 7th straight. You know that bat's going to be on Travis Weldon's shoulder right here. Here's the pitch. And that's a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. Weldon, a .333 hitter. Here's the pitch. He swings. Ground ball, Napoleon at first. He's going to go to second for 1. Relay across is in time. 363 double play, and it doesn't get any prettier than that. Napoleon to Gardner, back to Napoleon.
The toughest kind of double play to turn. I think it's more difficult than an around-the-horn 5-4-3, but they executed it perfectly there, and 2 down now here in the Neuqua Valley second inning.
Chris Krupe, the right fielder, stands in, and he'll take a ball. You know, Napoleon was holding the runner on. He takes that step in after he holds the runner on. Then he took another step in after he fielded it to get that good angle to throw to second base, and he threw a strike to Ben Gardner. And speaking of strikes, that's exactly what Will Hebert throws here to Chris Krupe, and evens the count at a ball and a strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Pitch fouled away, out of play. It's 1-2. 1-0 New Trier. They started the top of this inning with 2 straight hits and took a sacrifice fly to score it. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Hebert. Into the dirt. Smothered there by O'Donnell with nobody on base. He still was working there because should Krupe have swung at that pitch, he's got to make sure he preserves the opportunity to throw the runner out in the drop third strike. Slightly open stance for Krupe. Here's Hebert's pitch. It's high, it's 3-2. Will Hebert has struggled with his control. He walked first man on 4 pitches, went to 3-0 on the next. Eventually 3-1 before the double play. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. The third batter of this inning. Takes a long look in. Here he comes on a full count delivery. This ball is lofted in the air to right field. Pritz will move near the right field line, shading his eyes, and he'll make the catch. Nice job by Danny Pritz to work the sun. So the leadoff walk is wasted, wiped out in the double play, and we've completed 2 innings here in our AA state championship in 2007. And as we go to the top of the third inning, you can feel the intensity here in the boys AA state championship ball game. New Trier, the 1-0 lead over Neuqua Valley. I'm Dave Bernhardt. My partner's Tom Westenfeld, and he's got the middle 3 innings for you.
All right, we head now to the top half of the third inning, and New Trier will go back to work here as they have the 1-0 lead, scoring on the unusual run that ended the bottom half, rather the last half inning, the top half of the second inning for New Trier. And leading it off and swinging and missing at the first pitch is going to be the first baseman, Dylan Napoleon. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up here as we move through the middle innings of this championship game. All right, here's the next pitch. That'll be in the dirt low, and the count even now at 1-1. Shadows continue to move across the field here. A beautiful early evening in June here in Joliet, Illinois. Here's the 1-1 delivery now. Napoleon swings and misses. Nice breaking ball there. Napoleon a little bit ahead of that one. Couldn't catch up to it, and the count is 1-2.
330 down the left field line, 325 to right, 400 to straightaway center. the wind is not a factor because there is barely a breeze blowing here tonight.
1-2 delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and there's one out of the inning.
Not a real good at bat there by Napoleon. Had a hard time, looked like he had a hard time picking up the ball, and that's the first strikeout of the game for Ben Gibson.
So now here's T.J. O'Donnell, the second baseman, or to the catcher rather, as he's the number 9 hitter. And O'Donnell steps in. He's a right-handed hitter as he faces Ben Gibson for Neuqua Valley. Here's the wind in the first pitch, and it is low and inside for ball 1. O'Donnell in the game against Brother Rice earlier on today. Here's the 1-0 delivery now, taken high, and the count goes to 2-0. O'Donnell finished up 1 for 2, actually 0 for 1, I beg your pardon, with a walk and a run scored. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Here's the delivery, taking all the way, missing low and away, and now they put a strike up on the board. And they have 2-1 up on the board right now. So it is a 2-1 count here to O'Donnell, and now time is going to be called. A run on 2 hits so far for New Trier. Neuqua Valley, no runs on no hits, and so far we've had an errorless ball game. All right, here's the 2-1 now, and that'll be taken low for a ball, and now it runs to 3-1.
Neuqua Valley already getting some action in the bullpen. Just make sure everybody's ready at any time. Mike McKinley, a sophomore, pitched 2 innings last night in the quarterfinal win, is loosening up.
Here's the 3-1. Miss is outside, or no, it was a late call on the strike, and the count now goes to 3-2. Boy, that's the most casual strike call I think I've ever seen any umpire have.
Yes.
He looks like, you know, he's getting ready to order food with that right arm raised. There's a swing and a 2-hop ground ball right to second base. And there with it is Anthony Amadei, and he throws to first, and it's in time, and there are 2 down in the inning. Looks like more actually maybe like just raising your arm to hail a cab or something on a city street. So now we move to the top of the order here, and here is the leadoff hitter, James Hall for New Trier. Hall 0 for 1 as he has flied to right his first time up. Boy, the right fielder, Chris Krupe, still has to battle the sunshine for quite a bit of while here. First pitch here, it's a Hall, and that'll be a strike call, and it's 0-1.
That will get worse in the next 15 minutes as the Shadows continue to go his way.
No balls, 1 strike the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and skied off to the right, and that'll drift out of play. And the count will now be no balls and 2 strikes.
You know, this really is tough because the sky we have here, it's a pale blue, no clouds in the sky. Once that ball's hit really high, it is tough to stay with it, especially when you're fighting the sun. That's why it was a good job last inning, make the catch by Prince.
Next pitch misses way outside, and the count goes to 1-2. So 2 down, nobody on in the inning here for New Trier in their half of the 3rd inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the delivery. This ball is smoked to left field and deep. Drifting back is going to be Jeff Rowan towards the warning track, and he makes the grab, though, about maybe 5 feet in front of the front edge of the track, and that'll end the inning. Boy, it sounded good coming off the back, but it just hung up there and died out in left field. And so New Trier retired. A 1-2-3 inning there. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. It's New Trier 1, Neuqua Valley nothing on the IHSA Internet Radio Network.
Lately, everybody seems to be adding on or upgrading a room in their home. New tiles in the bathroom, new countertops in the kitchen, or maybe converting that extra garage space into another bedroom.
Loss on the season, one of the 3 New Trier losses Trevians have suffered this year. But that goes along with 36 wins.
So we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning here, and the first pitch to the leadoff batter, Anthony Amadei, the second baseman for Neuqua Valley, is way outside, about 3 feet out of the zone. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes here to Amadei. Amadei, left-handed hitter, waits. Here's the delivery from Hebard, and that'll be a called strike on the outer half of the plate. Count will be even at 1-1.
Anthony Amadei has really been something in his tournament. 5 of 7 with a couple of runs scored.
There's a swing now as he reaches out to the outer half of the plate. Grounds one right to the shortstop, and there with it is Ben Gardner. Throws to first, and there's 1 out in the inning.
Gardner took his time a little bit there, kind of dipped down with a sidearm movement. Amadei was really hustling down there for a quick second there. It looked as if Amadei might be able to beat that.
So here's Pete Back, the center fielder, who made, so far anyway, the defensive play of the game. A sprawling and leaping one-handed grab in right center field that triggered One of the more unusual plays we've seen in a long time, and it ultimately resulted in the rarity of a sacrifice fly and a double play in the same at bat. Here's the first pitch to him, way up high, and it's 1-0 here.
It's a 13-hit attack in that 5-inning win, an game that actually only lasted 4 innings offensively for Neuqua Valley in that win over Washington earlier today.
There's a swing and a miss, and the count even at 1-1.
Back had a pair of those hits. He was 2 for 3 this afternoon. 3 of 5 for the tournament, batting out of the 9 spot.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. Here's the wind of the pitch, high and tight there, and the count goes now to 2-1. 2 balls and a strike, and easily our best crowd, I think, of the weekend, or at least of the games that I've seen this weekend. There's a swing and a high pop-up, short right field. Drifting back is the second baseman, Mac Murphy, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
We said Hubbard, one of 4 Division I pitchers on this new Trier staff. He stands 6'7". Earlier today, we saw Trey Frailer standing 6'6". We haven't seen Jack Babe. He is also 6 feet, 6 inches tall.
So now here's Adam Carver. As there are 2 down in the inning, and the first pitch here is going to be a called strike at the knees, and it is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike the count. And the next pitch will be low for a ball, and that'll run the count now to 1-1.
You know what you have here tonight, Tom? You talk about the big crowd. You not only do you have the new Trier fans, Neuqua Valley fans, you've got a lot of baseball fans, especially in a local Joliet area.
2-1.
The irony of
count
that
now as that next pitch misses outside.
The irony of that is this Joliet area is perennially a powerhouse area. First year the AA tournament's been in Joliet, no Joliet area teams qualified for the Elite 8.
All right, there's a swing and a ground ball to the right side. Fielded there, tossed to the pitcher covering, and that will end the inning. That was Rob Elliott, by the way, batting, as Pete Back popped to the second baseman, and Elliott then grounds out to end the inning. So no runs in the inning. We're after 3.
Only 2 hits on the scoreboard. They both belong to New Trier, and they resulted in a run. Back-to-back singles by Lashmit Gardner to start out the second inning. Lashmit coming in to score, so we head to the top of the 4th inning, and 1-0 New Trier lead over Neuqua Valley.
Mac Murphy now to lead it off here for New Trier. He's 0 for 1, grounded to the shortstop, his first time up. As Ben Gibson, the right-hander, winds and throws, and the first pitch is a called strike at the knees, and it's 0-1.
Very important for Ben Gibson here to keep bringing it, keep his team in there, because runs may be hard to come by tonight against Will Hubbard for New Trier.
Here's the 0-1 delivery now. Low and inside, and the count even at 1-1. Resetting that last half inning, by the way, I skipped a place in the batting order again in my book. Amade did lead off, grounded out to short. Then it was Back popping to the second baseman, and then Rob Elliott ended the inning. There's a swing and a sharp grounder just inside the bag at third base, and it'll go down the left field line for extra bases here as Murphy rounding first, coming into second, digging hard, and he dives in safely for the 2-base hit.
That was a good play by the left fielder, Jeff Rowan, to get to that ball in a hurry. And, boy, he made that play a lot closer at second base than I thought it was going to be, as Murphy had to go in with a headlong slide to beat that throw. But once again, Neuqua Valley in a little bit of trouble here as New Trier has put the leadoff man on base, this time in scoring position in the 4th inning.
So now here's Sam Franklin to the plate. Franklin 0 for 1 in the game, grounded back to the pitcher, his first try. So New Trier now trying to tack on and run here in their half of the 4th inning. Here's the stretch now, or the set by Gibson. And the first pitch, and it'll be a strike called at the knees, and it's 0-1. Sun now right behind some clouds, so no sunlight here to bother the players, although that'll change, I think, again in the next few minutes. Gibson comes set. And here's the 0-1, and no pitch, as Gibson whirls, but does not throw back to second base.
It's a dangerous part of the New Trier order. Franklin, Lashmit, Gardner, Neal. A lot of pop here.
All right, here comes the 0-1, and again, there's a replay of the previous move by Gibson as he turned and looked at second, but nobody covering, so no throw, obviously. No balls, 1 strike is the count here to Sam Franklin. Here comes the set, and now this pitch will come to the plate, and it'll be in the dirt for a ball, and that makes it 1-1 now.
Once again, as we did last night about this time, we have a couple of birds sitting on top of the netting here that extends up behind home plate. Last night, one of those birds almost got clipped by a foul ball coming straight back.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Here's the set now by Gibson. Pitch, and that'll be outside for a ball, and it's 2-1. Dave Winfield, once hitting, I think, a pigeon with a throw home in Toronto. He was charged with a misdemeanor on that.
Yes.
And then Randy Johnson, I think it was in a preseason game, with about a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's the pitch here. Swing and a miss, and a pitch that was in the dirt. Count 2-2, and a case of incredible and unlucky timing for the unlucky bird that met up with that Randy Johnson heater. There's another spin move, but no throw to second base. I mean, what are the odds? You're flying around enjoying the day. Next thing you know, Randy Johnson makes it a very bad day. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Here's the pitch. That'll be in the dirt for a ball, and the count will run full now to 3-2.
First base is open here, but I don't think Gibson wants to mess around. Not with nobody out here. He's got to get after Franklin right here. Give him something to work with. Take his chances.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. Nobody down, runner at second base. That's Murphy. And now time will be called just as Gibson moves into his windup.
You know why that was called? Because the batter, Sam Franklin, saw the second baseman, Anthony Amade, making a hard cut to second base. He wanted to put a stop to the play before there can even be a potential pickoff at second.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. Gibson comes set. Here's the pitch. Taken low, ball 4, and so New Trier now. They have runners at first and second with nobody out in the inning. We're in the top of the 4th inning. New Trier, in unusual fashion, scoring the run in the 2nd inning. And now Chris Lashman, the 3rd baseman, he will step to the plate now for New Trier. Lashman in the game has a single, and he scored the only run of the game so far for New Trier. Right-handed hitter waits, slightly angled stance in the box. Pitch comes in, a breaking ball, called strike over the inner half of the plate. The count 0-1 here.
Gibson not wanting to put a ball right over the plate where Lashman can really get a handle on it. Playing with the edges of the strike zone here in the last 2 hitters.
Now the Sun back out. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Swinging a ground ball to the right side. It takes a little bit of a high hop off the right side of the mound. Juggled, but then fielded at second base by Amade, and then the relay just barely late by about a half a step, and so it'll wind up to be a fielder's choice in the scorebook. Credit to Lashman. He was digging all the way down there, as I think Amade might have had a little trouble with the spin hop, if you will, off the right side of the mound, but he recovered nicely, but the relay not in time, and no double play.
Just that little bobble, though, cost him the double play, but Amade, when he did recover, flipped the ball to his shortstop, Rob Elliott, out of his glove. He didn't take it out with his hand. He just gave him a little shovel with the glove, and Elliott was right there, made a nice relay, but it was just that fraction of a second that he bobbled that kept this to be a 1st and 3rd situation.
So now here is Ben Gardner, the shortstop, and a look at third but no throw. That was not a double fake there. It was just a look to third with no throw. As Gibson right now paying a lot of attention to those base runners out there, and understandably so. It looks like it's going to be a close game, and every run is precious. First pitch now will be low for ball 1.
Mike Napoleon says, every guy I have on my team, with the exception of Will Neal, can run. Which means he has speed on the corners, and they like to play games 1st and 3rd.
1 ball, no strikes the count. Gardner waits. Here's the delivery. And a changeup that misses outside. Count goes now to 2-0. So runners at the corners, 1 down here for New Trier. Murphy at 3rd, Lashman at 1st after the fielder's choice. All right, here's the set and the 2-0 delivery. Notion to bunt there, but the bat then pulled back by Gardner. And he takes the pitch, and now it's a 2-1 count.
Teams scout each other, obviously, on the tournament trail, but so much you can do is scouting is also on stats. One of the stats you look at is Ben Gibson has only walked 6 batters in 40 innings coming into this game, so he's going to be near that strike zone. So when the count goes 2-1, you can tell your hitters, listen, you're going to get a pitch to work with. It also helps you as a coach to know, okay, am I going to be able to run on this count? Is he going to be bouncing in the dirt, or is he going to be giving me something a catcher can work with?
All right, Ben Gibson now comes set. Here's the delivery. And that was riding in all the way from the time it left his hand. And the count goes to 3-1 as that pitch taken inside.
6 walks in the season through 40 games, and Gibson is 1 pitch away from 2 walks in the last 3 batters here in the 4th inning.
3 balls, 1 strike, the count. Here's the pitch. Swinging a chopper towards third, and it'll be just wide of the bag, foul. The count now runs 3-2. Boy, this has been an interesting little at-bat here.
Gardner has really worked it. Gibson not giving in. Had to throw a ball over the plate that time, but Gibson really trying to work the edges. The outside edge, any part of the strike zone.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Here's the set now, and again, a look to third, but no throw. Unlike the other times, Gibson looked like he took a little bit of a glance over his shoulder back at first base. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, count remains full. Gibson comes set, there goes the runner from first. Here's the pitch, it's swung on, and a high pop-up, short right field, drifting over the second baseman, Anthony Amadei, and he makes the catch about maybe 3 feet beyond the edge of the outfield grass for the out there, 2 down in the inning now.
I'm going to tell you why that's a good play. Amadei is running to the bag to cover for a potential throw as Lashman was running with the pitch. He had to put on his brakes, come all the way back into short right field. Now the first baseman, Vitale, he jumps off the bag. He's jumping closer to home plate, so he had to turn and go all the way. The right fielder, Krupe, in all honesty, I don't know whether he even saw that ball because he didn't move. It was either Amadei or nobody.
So now here's the designated hitter, Will Neal. Neal grounded to the third baseman his first trip to the plate. We're in the top of the 4th, a 1-0 ball game. New Trier in front of this Class AA title game. First pitch here, and that is a called strike on a breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
You know, here we are in the top of the 4th inning. To me, right now, this is the batter of the game. It's a 1-0 game with Neal at the plate. If Gibson get out of this, his team's in it. If Neal produces, it's a big inning.
There's a swing and a foul ball off to the right side.
And I say big inning in a relative sense, the way Will Hubbard is dealing for New Trier on the other end.
Boy, I got to tell you, I don't know how tough it is right now for the right fielder, who right now is Chris Krupe for Neuqua Valley, but when the ball is hit off to the right in the air, it is hard to pick up the ball against that pale blue sky background. No balls, 2 strikes, the count, 2 down in the inning. Crowd clapping it up here behind the Neuqua Valley dugout. Here's the stretch, and now a fake to third and a fake to first. And no throw either way. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Gibson again comes set. Here's the delivery. Just missing on the outside corner, and it's 1-2.
Well, that is exactly where he wanted to put it. Neal would not have been able to handle the ball there. He was counting on a possible call from the umpire, didn't get it.
So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count. And here's the delivery again. Swung on, fouled off to the right, out of play. And we're holding it 1-2. This is another interesting at-bat here. A battle between Ben Gibson on the mound for Neuqua Valley and Will Neal at the plate here for New Trier. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Don't forget, you can send us an email, IHSAsports@att.net. IHSAsports@att.net. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Change up, swung on. Boy, he jumped all over it. He screams at the left center field, but getting a good jump on the ball there was Pete Pack, and he makes the catch to end the inning. Boy, that ball was roped a long way, but Back, who was shading the hitter to hit the opposite field, was able to run it down. So in the inning, no runs.
Our country.
We have a good one going in Joliet for our 2007 AA Boys Baseball Championship. Neuqua Valley, New Trier. It's a 1-run difference. At the bottom of the 4th, we go.
All right, now Adam Carver will lead it off here for Neuqua Valley, and the first pitch is behind him for ball 1.
Hubbard didn't mean to do that.
No.
Man, oh man, that thing just came flying out of his hands.
That's a case where the release point is a little bit earlier than you think it's going to be, isn't it? Here's the 1-0, and it comes in up high for a ball, and now it's 2-0 here.
And if this weren't a state title game and the pressure wasn't as great. There's
Oh.
been heckling on both sides.
Yep. I can only imagine.
Guys in the dugout would be ducking for cover.
Here's the 2-0 delivery. And that'll come across for a strike at the letters, and the count goes now to 2-1.
Everett's been tough, but he hasn't had the great command here tonight. He's had a lot of deep counts.
Here's the 2-1. Boy jammed him, and the pitch is swung on, and a one-hopper into the third base box. And the count now goes to 2-2.
Big turnout of Neuqua Valley students, all dressed in their gold T-shirts just to the right of the third base dugout.
All right, here's the 2-2 delivery. High and tight again, and right now it looks like Hebert is having, we chuckled about it earlier on, but now it looks like he's having a little bit of trouble with his release point, clearly.
He did on that breaking pitch right there.
3 balls, 2 strikes, the count now to Carver. And there's ball 4 up high. And so Carver leads off the Neuqua Valley fourth with a walk. And the tying run is now aboard here. And here's Brad Kimball. Now you've got the heart of the order coming up, but do you sacrifice here?
Well, you got to start thinking about it. The only 3 runners that have reached base against Hebert here have been walks in the first, second, and now 4th inning.
All right, Kimball, who had a walk his first trip, steps to the plate. As Hebert working now out of the stretch, here's the first pitch. And that'll be a ball inside, and it's 1-0.
Sometimes when a pitcher's struggling a little bit, it's hard to put that bunt on.
Neuqua Valley still looking for their first hit of the ball game. All right, here's the 1-0. High and tight, and it's 2-0.
And I think right here, Kimball's got to be taking. You're down a run. It's in the middle of the game. Even though you're the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Hebert's all over.
No question about it here, especially with Hebert right now struggling to find his location. Here's the 2-0 delivery. And a snap throw to first that nearly got away. As the pitch was ruled a ball, there was a high throw from the catcher, T.J. O'Donnell, and Dylan Napoleon, who was coming back to the bag, literally made a leaping grab to prevent that ball from rolling down the right field line and preventing the runner to advancing into scoring position. 3 balls, no strikes the count. Kimball waits. Here's the delivery. Runner going. Ball 4.
Or not.
Boy, it looked high to me, but I did not see the arm go up.
The runner's still second on a 3-0 count. Wow.
It's 3-1. So no walk there.
Wow. Interesting move.
It was high. The arm didn't go up, but it was a strike.
There's a tying run out at second base.
And a stolen base, as you said now, for Carver. All right, 3-1 as we reset here. Here's the delivery. And that will be a strike call on the outside corner, and that'll run it to 3-2 now.
Okay, now you put the bat in the hands of your number 3 hitter, Brad Kimball. 58 runs batted in this season. Big one out at second base.
All right, here's the 3-2 to Kimball. Inside, and did it hit him? I think, yep. The umpire raises both hands and says he got part of the jersey there. And so officially it'll be a hit batter. And runners now at first and second here for Neuqua Valley.
Hebert has walked 24 batters in 44 innings coming in. Now, it's the 4th time he's put a man on base through 4 innings. And again, pinch runner Jason David comes in for Neuqua Valley.
And he will come in to run for Kimball, correct?
Indeed he will.
Yeah, so David in to run for Kimball as David goes to first base.
Now Mike Napoleon's going to come out to the mound. I think what he's going to talk about here is bunt defense. I mean, he'll talk a little bit to Hebert, yes, to get him to calm down a little bit, as it looks like Pete Boehm has moved down into the bullpen down the right field line for New Trier. But this will be about
Neuqua Valley. Do you have anything special going on right now?
I think I'm going to bunt here. But there you see Napoleon, first baseman, really walking in very tight. They really want to take this bunt away from Rowan.
All right, here's Rowan. Open stance and a little quick whirl towards second, but no throw from Will Hebert.
Okay, now we watch for any potential pickoff plays. However, with Napoleon in tight, second baseman Murphy is shaded towards the bag at second. Now Napoleon's going to go behind the runner at first.
All right, Hebert now comes set. Here's the first pitch, bunted out in front of the plate. Going to roll actually toward the mound. It's bobbled by Hebert, and no play available, and everybody will be safe.
That's why the bunting game is so important in high school baseball. It's not so much how well you execute offensively, it's what you force the defense to do in pressure situations.
So now Neuqua Valley has the bases loaded with nobody out in the inning. As Pete Vitale now will step to the plate here. for Neuqua Valley.
That was not a tough play for Hebert.
That a case of him just rushing it?
Yes, and combined with the nerves and everything else that's swirling around about him.
All right, so here now is Vitale. He walked last time up, and he's ready to roll. Look at his stance. Here's the pitch. He rips one foul, but he pulled it well into the berm, and a young fan makes the catch on a one-hopper out of the berm in right field. That ball was smoked.
Well, he got every bit of it.
So no balls and 1 strike the count here.
The infield is back with nobody out. 1-0 New Trier lead. Neuqua Valley a chance here. A ball in the ground will tie this game.
So New Trier conceding the run here. Here's the 0-1. A floater, a changeup, misses outside. The count even at 1-1.
Now Hebert that time, he kicked his leg up, and as he was delivering home, he glanced at the runner at third base. He glanced at Adam Carver, kind of took his focus off of home plate and left the ball outside.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. Here's the stretch and the delivery. Up high, and then he'll run it to 2-1. No place to put him here, friends. The bases are loaded for Neuqua Valley. They trail 1-0. They still do not have a hit in the game. How about a losing no-hitter? 2 balls, 1 strike the count. We're far away from that. Throw to third, and it gets away. It's a wild throw. It'll roll down towards the bullpen. 1 run is in. Here comes another runner rounding third. He will score, and they still don't have a hit, does Neuqua Valley, but they have the lead 2-1 on the second error of the inning by pitcher Will Hebert.
Carver would have been back safely. He was not off the bag that far. Hebert just threw it out of the reach of Lashman, and a runner at second, Jason David, never stopped. The ball got hung up in the bullpen, finally tracked down by the left fielder.
And Rowan goes to second now. It is still 0-1 count. Here's the pitch, swinging a foul back, and the count now to Vitale is, now they have 2 balls and 2 strikes up on the board. So the second error of the inning, as Will Hebert getting himself into trouble here by his own doing. And it is a 2-1 Neuqua Valley lead. 2 runs on no hits and no errors for Neuqua Valley. Wow. All right, here now is the set. Pitch by Hebert. Inside. Boy, it jammed him, and he fought it off. Hebert fields it just to the left of the mound, throws to first in time. As Rowan goes to third, in effect, not officially, but the same effect as a sacrifice there. As there's now 1 out in the inning, and I do give credit to Hebert there because he could have been very rattled, maybe he even was, but he gathered himself, kept composed, not necessarily an easy play given what he's been through in the inning, and he turned, fielded it cleanly, and threw a perfect strike over to first for the out.
I was going to say, he was probably the last man on this field that wanted the ball hit to him, but he composed himself. What I liked is how he planted and threw that strike across the infield. Good job by Hebert.
Yeah, no need to get 2 down here. They're only down by a run. Here's Travis Weldon, the designated hitter. Runner at third. First pitch, swinging a chopper towards first. And right there at the bag is Napoleon, Dylan Napoleon, and he steps on the bag for the unassisted putout. And just like that now, there are 2 down in the inning.
Boy, really, if he doesn't hit that ball right at Napoleon, if he makes Napoleon go to his right a little bit, then Jeff Rowan is going to come in to score, and he'll probably score without a play. That ball was directly at Napoleon, right on the bag.
So now here's Chris Krupe, as he will come to the plate with 2 down and a runner at third, and now time will be granted here.
2 walks, 2 errors, 2 runs. That's what Neuqua Valley has done here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And there is action. It looks like in the New Trier dugout, in the bullpen rather, as the first pitch here will be low for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes the count here to Chris Krupe. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field. Here's the 1-0. Inside. Oh, look out. He had to duck out of the way of that one. And the count now goes to 2-0.
You know, we joked about that first pitch of this inning that was way far off the plate.
That was an indication, though, of how this inning was to go for Hebert. There's a swing and a foul back.
Good cut by Krupe. Just got the end of the pat.
Boy, Hebert, you can tell by just his body language, Dave, he's really trying to gut out this inning and keep his team to within 1, as it is a 2-1 ball game now in favor of Neuqua Valley. Krupe waits. Here's the pitch. That'll miss outside, and that'll run it now to 3-1.
But I guarantee you, no matter how this inning plays out, when New Trier goes back in the dugout, they're all going to pat him on the back and say, forget it, man. We're going to go get you. We're going to pick you up. That's what championship-type teams do.
3 balls, 1 strike, the count. All right, Krupe waits. Here's the delivery. High, ball 4, and runners now at the corners with 2 down, and that'll set it up now for Anthony Amadei.
Now it's Robin Renner's turn, the head coach for Neuqua Valley, to see what he might want to do in a first and third situation here with 2 outs and 2 runs in and a 1-run lead. And he'll have to wait a little bit as we'll get another conference on the mound.
Meeting at the mound here. Will we have a pitching change? Yes, we will. So we will have a pitching change. Boy, Will Hebard was rolling along nicely until this 4th inning, Dave.
It is a pressure situation. Maybe you try to put something in his head. Maybe you try to get the young man to balk. I don't know. All that goes through your head. All these decisions, multiple decisions made every which way by all these coaches and players.
All right, here's Amadei. He's 0 for 1, grounded to the shortstop. His first trip, that was back in the 3rd inning. First pitch from Boehm, high and away for ball 1.
Boehm only 5 walks, 23 innings.
Boehm comes set now. Here's the 1-0. Down low for ball 2.
Now your strategy changes. Now you start thinking about taking all the way, and maybe that's what Robin Renner had talked about to Amadei. Let's take it till we get a strike. Make him throw a strike before we start swinging.
A long half inning here for New Trier. So far, a good one for Neuqua Valley. 2-0. That'll miss inside, and that'll run it to 3-0.
I think it's exactly what the decision had been early on. Make the reliever come in and throw a strike before you attack.
All right, here's the set now and the pitch. 3-0, taking all the way. Strike called right down the middle. The count runs to 3-1 now. Sun setting here behind the grandstand to our left. Here comes the 3-1 delivery. Low and inside, ball 4. Ball gets away, but not far enough away from T.J. O'Donnell behind the plate for anybody to go anywhere. Although the bases now are again loaded here for Neuqua Valley. And now that will leave it up to Pete Back. Back popped to the second baseman, his first trip to the plate, back in the 3rd inning. Back's impact on this game, though, has been that great play in center field, which if the game stays the way it is, Dave, that play could be the key defensive play of the ball game.
Oh, yes, indeed.
All right, because 2 runs would have easily scored. Here's the first pitch to Back. He swings and misses at a sweeping breaking ball, and the count is 0-1. Boy, the flag out in center field now. Completely limp. No wind at all here in Joliet, Illinois at Silver Cross Field. Temperature still in the low 70s. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, a pop-up off to the right side out of play. That wasn't coming up here.
Well, you saw me move.
Yes, I did.
Any good defensive player.
You had your right arm
moves,
outstretched.
Yeah.
No balls and 2 strikes to the count. Dave has been waiting in vain so far for a foul ball to come here in the booth. 0-2, missing high and away, and that'll make it to 1-2. Came close earlier today, but Dave was a little tardy with the net.
Honest answer, I forgot about the net.
We have a net here in the booth. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Swung on, and that ball is drilled, and it may split the gap, and it will. It'll roll all the way, at least to the warning track. And everybody rolling around the bases here, and it'll be 2 more runs in. 3 more runs in now, as it is a 5-1 lead. The first hit of the ball game, and Dave did Pete Back jump all over that hanging breaking ball.
It was a 1-2 count. I don't know if he was looking for it or not, but he got it, and he, as you said, split the outfielders, and with 2 outs, everybody was on the move. Rowan scores easily. Krupe comes in. Amadei was flying around all the way, and it's a 5-run inning for Neuqua Valley.
So Neuqua Valley on a 3-run double by Pete Back now has a 5-1 lead, and that went the no-hitter, although right now New Trier not worried about it. Now an appeal play here, checking to see if one of the runners maybe missed the bag, rounding third. That doesn't happen, and so the run will stand, and it is a 5-1 game. That ball was drilled.
Point, as you said it, how about it? The irony, the first hit of the game and it's a huge one. Driving in 3 and back, parlays that defensive play into an offensive move on the other end.
Now here's Rob Elliott, the 9th batter to come to the plate in the inning. Swinging a ground ball right at shortstop. Gardner is up with it, fires to first just in time, and that'll end the inning. But what an inning it is.
Going in a hole to throw out Mac Murphy. He's the anchor of that infield. Now he does a little bit of a jog out by shortstop, takes a couple extra warm-up tosses, and he's going to stay in there, and why not? 3 innings toward a state championship for one of these two teams, and it's Neuqua Valley, a 5-1 lead after 4.
And we head to the top half of the 5th inning now, and Danny Pritz, the right fielder, will lead things off here now for New Trier. So they've got to get going here as they trail by 4, first pitch of the inning. And it'll slide in across the inside corner for a called strike, and it is 0-1. They have 1-0 on the board, but that was a strike. Here's the 0-1 that'll be low and away for a ball, and now that'll run it to 1-1.
They've kept the bullpen busy for Neuqua Valley here all game long, making sure they have a loose and warm arm should they need it.
5-1-0 for Neuqua Valley, 1-3-2. 2 huge errors for New Trier.
Oh, and those 2 errors, that pitch is down low. 2 errors by the starting pitcher, Will Hebert.
And the count, I believe, is 2-1 here. And we'll find out for sure. 3-0, doesn't matter. Swinging a sharp grounder right to the shortstop, Elliott. Throw to first, looks like he's okay, as he has the runner in plenty of time for the first out of the inning.
Down in that Neuqua Valley bullpen, warming up as he has been all game, Mike McKinley's pretty much pitched a game down there, just staying loose. You know, don't discount the fact that we might not see their ace, Ian Kroll. He's also a sophomore before this one's over, though Ben Gibson is rolling now through 4 1/3 innings.
Here's Dylan Napoleon, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That strikeout to lead off the 3rd inning. First pitch here. Lights beginning to take effect here in Joliet, and it's a called strike, and it's 0-1 now. So we're in the top half of the 5th inning, and as we said earlier on in the tournament, here's the wind down, the 0-1. There's a swing and a ground ball, again right to Elliott. Scoops it up, throws to first, and a nice tag at first base as the through pulled Pete Patel off the bag to the home plate side, but he whirled and made the tag, and there are 2 out in the inning.
How about that? The guy that gets banged up at the end of the inning handles the first 2 balls here in the top of the 5th inning.
So now here's the number 9 hitter, T.J. O'Donnell for New Trier. And New Trier, I got to believe the last thing they wanted was a quick 1-2-3 inning.
Yes.
And it's always important to try to at least chip into the lead after you have a bad inning defensively, but we're going to have probably a 1-2-3 inning here. A high fly ball, short left field, dropping quickly. Coming on now is the center fielder, Pete Back, and he makes the catch. Flying over was Jeff Rowan from left, and at the last second he ducked out of the way, and Back, as is his right out there, through conventional baseball wisdom, called him off, made the catch, and that ends the inning. So no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and it remains Neuqua Valley 5, New Trier 1 on the IHSA Internet Radio Network.
There's one home improvement job that's not a do-it.
And as was the case back in the 4th inning, Adam Carver now will lead it off here for Neuqua Valley. Carver walked to lead off the inning and ultimately scored after stealing a base and then scoring on one of the 2 throwing errors by Will Hebert, the starting pitcher. First pitch here, outside corner, called strike, and it is 0-1. Jack Boehm right now on in relief for New Trier, and there's a swing and a miss, and it goes now to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes the count. And nobody on the field now has to deal with any sunlight problems as the 1-2 up, the 0-2 rather up high, and that'll make it 1-2.
What a game Pete Back has had. Bases clearing, 2 out double. He's made a couple of outstanding plays in center field.
Player of the game. There's a swing, and this ball is lifted in the air to right field. And barely having to move is Danny Pritz. He reaches up and makes the catch for the out, and there is 1 down. And you get an idea, Dave. It might sound like a trivial thing, but on that fly out, you know, the New Trier crowd or the crowd of whatever team that might be in the field would have given a rigorous cheer, but the wind has been taken out of their sails. I mean, that fly out went almost, it seemed like, judging from the reaction of the crowd, almost unnoticed. All right, here's the first pitch now to Brad Kimball. It's taken low for a ball.
Well,
Kimball was hit by a pitch last time up and came around to score.
Neuq came in here. Their fans came in here. The favorites in this tournament, the favorites in this game.
Here's the 1-0, low and away, and then run it out now to 2-0.
Just like Neuqua Valley did in the semifinals, scoring 4 and 5 runs in an inning. They did it in a hurry this last half of the 4th inning.
2-0 delivery, low for a ball, and then I'll make it 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes the count. Here's the delivery. Ball 4 low. And Kimball has a 1-out walk.
Second walk by Bame. 4 walks from Hebard. 6 walks and a hit batter tonight for the pitching staff for Neuq.
You know, and it's kind of too bad as we'll have a pinch runner coming into the game now. I think this will be David again for Neuqua Valley. But Hebard was rolling along quite nicely, and then everything fell apart when the beginning of the end almost for him. And again, that seemed to be rather innocuous, but it really began, I think, when he uncorked a pitch behind the first batter in that inning. The first pitch here is low for ball 1 now to Jeff Rowan. But that pitch, again, you mentioned it earlier, we chuckled at the time, but that set the tone, it seemed, for the entire frame for Hebard. Here's the 1-0. In the dirt low, count goes to 2-0 now.
Last time Jeff Rowan was up, he actually had one of the very key at-bats last inning, and that was a bunt. With runners at first and second, Rowan put a bunt down. It was back to Hebard, who dropped it, picked it up, and couldn't get Rowan at first, and instead of having 1 out, runners second and third, the bases were loaded with nobody out, and that set up the next error by Hebard, which was a throwing error down the left field line that actually scored 2 runs.
Little pitcher-catcher meeting that breaks up at the mound, and now here comes the 2-0 delivery. Swinging a high fly ball, short center field, 3 players converging on it. Calling for it is the shortstop. That'll be Ben Gardner, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 down in the inning now, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Pete Vitale. He is 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. Well, Neuq down 4, getting late, but they're not out of it. They need to keep this runner aboard, and any further that might get aboard from scoring in this inning. Here's a swing and a miss. Vitale really having a cut there, but the misses it. The count goes to 0-1 here.
Not sure what Jason David's base stealing capabilities are, but this might not be a bad time to put him in motion, maybe let Vitale the little hit and run as well.
Low and inside for a ball, and then I'll make it a 1-1 count.
Get some movement on the bases, and if for whatever reason David's thrown out, you still have a 4-run lead. You start your next inning with Vitale at the plate.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Here's the pitch. Check swing, couldn't hold up. He does go around, and then I'll make it 1-2. It got away from O'Donnell behind the plate, but he quickly tracks it down, and so the runner at first not able to advance.
Vitale almost broke his wrist trying to check his swing on that. He knew he was in big trouble, but already had committed himself. He doesn't get cheated on a swing, that's for sure.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. All right, here's the set now by Bame, and the pitch. Swinging a little number out in front of the plate, and it went off the foot, it looks like. One of the feet of Vitale. And he was down on 1 knee there for a minute, but he's back up and walking it off.
Interesting line score out here in the Silver Cross Field scoreboard for Neuq. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors. For Neuqua Valley, 5 runs, 1 hit, and no errors. And we're in the bottom of the 5th with 2 out.
And while not literally, but figuratively, that 1 hit, the double by back, is the difference in the game.
Indeed. A 3-run double with 2 outs.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Here's the pitch. Swinging a chopper wide of third, just wide of the bag. At first, I beg your pardon. And the count holds at 1-2.
They've gone off speed to Vitale. They know he has a tendency to be ahead of the pitches. Bame really took something off of that one. Vitale tried to hold up as long as he could and still pulled it foul. See what the thinking is here between catcher O'Donnell and pitcher Bame.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Here's the delivery. Inside corner, strike 3 called, and that'll end the inning. So Vitale set down on strikes.
The essence here for Neuq, but they have the part of the order they need. It is at the top. James Hall, Mac Murphy, and Sam Franklin has started off against right-hander Ben Gibson, who has retired the last 5 batters. He has a 5-1 lead thanks to a 5 spot in that bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch to Hall. It's taken a little bit low, ball 1. We'll see whether New Trier is in take mode right now. Trevian scored their only run in the 2nd inning. Next pitch from Gibson, turning away from it on an inside pitch is Hall, and it's 2-0. It certainly appears as if New Trier will take until they get a strike. Down in the bullpen for Neuqua Valley, Ian Kroll, their left-handed ace. There's the pitch by Gibson, and that is low, and it's 3-0.
Well, the brownie has been consumed.
Let the game begin. That pitch is right down the middle. Hall started to walk towards first base, and it's a called strike.
Well, we talked about that earlier on. Don't go down to first base until you know it's a walk.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one's low. That's ball 4. The leadoff man on base for New Trier here to start the 6th inning.
Yeah, so Hall ultimately able to coax the walk now out of Ben Gibson. And now New Trier will try to tack on a couple of more base runners. If they can load the bases, then they would bring the tying run to the plate. Meeting at the mound now here for Neuqua Valley. Coaches and the battery.
The conversation is, let's go. Yesterday, Ian Kroll said he was really nervous for the first 2 innings and then relaxed a little bit. One wonders what's going through the mind and the stomach of the young sophomore right now. He steps up on a rubber. Murphy steps up to the plate. The lead at first to Hall. The kick and the pitch. It's a fastball. It's strike 1. Third baseman Carver is in on the grass. Middle infield's back. Next pitch, curveball. That misses inside to Murphy. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mac Murphy at a line drive, or a double down the left field line. His last time up, he was stranded at third in the 4th inning. Next pitch to him is inside. It's 2-1. That's a called strike. That was quite a late call. My apologies. And now a ball has come loose once again from that area in the grassy hill on the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Murphy. Kroll looks in. Hall will lead at first. Now Kroll will step off. A lot of players seem to be swatting at some flying insects out there right now. Now Kroll's ready. Goes into the stretch. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's down and away, and it gets away from the catcher, Kimball. It will come all the way to the backstop, and that will move Hall into scoring position at second base. That takes away any force out or potential double play, and it evens the count at 2-2 with nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. Outfield straight away for Murphy. Kroll looks to second. The 2-2 pitch, swinging a line drive foul into the stands. Look out. And that caught somebody on the elbow just over the dugout on the first base side, the New Trier side of the field. The count remains 2-2. Sam Franklin waits on deck. Once again, the 2-2 pitch. Another foul back into the screen. Good battle going on here between Kroll and Murphy. Mac Murphy, a .376 batting average coming into this tournament. 1 for 2 tonight. He was robbed by a great play by Elliott his first time up. Here's the 2-2. Taking a little bit off it. It's inside and low. It's 3-2. The tying run is still in that New Trier dugout. But if Murphy gets on base, it will move to the on-deck circle. Here's the full count pitch. Inside, ball 4. New Trier has their first 2 men on base here to start the 6th inning. And they are at the heart of their order. Sam Franklin, number 3 in the lineup, followed by Chris Lashman. Then Ben Gardner. The first 2 men have done exactly what they are supposed to do, and that is get on base. Hall and Murphy. Back-to-back walks here by Gibson, now by Kroll. whether Franklin takes or whether he's up there swinging. First pitch to him. He'll look at it, and it's a strike right down the middle. Back in he goes. Waves that bat across the plate. Kroll from the stretch. The pitch. Another fastball. Taken for a strike once again. No balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if he's going to go right at Sam Franklin. Franklin tonight 0 for 1. Ground out, and he's walked. Short leads by Hall and Murphy. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's outside and low. 1-2. Kroll gets right back up on that rubber. Looks in for the sign. He has it. Sets. Kicks. Pitch. Ground ball to third baseman. Picked up by Carver. He tags the bag. Throws the first. Pulls the first baseman off the bag. Nice job by Vitale. Tried to hang on as long as he could. Pulled him away. But they get the force at third. That's the first out of the inning. Moving up to second base is Murphy. And Franklin is at first.
Boy, if you want to try to get a double play out of that situation, Dave, that was a perfectly hit ball, because when it went right to Carver at third, all he had to do was step on the bag, but he did have to hurry the throw. And as you said, it pulls the first baseman off the bag. And there's 1 out in the inning now.
Chris Flashman comes to the plate, and he'll take a pitch down and in, a breaking ball down at his feet. Flashman tonight is singled, and he scored the only run of the game for the Trevians. They only have 3 hits, Neuqua Valley with just 1. Yet it's a 5-1 Neuqua Valley lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Next pitch to Lashman. Ground ball to shortstop. Elliott has on the high hop. Shovels to Amade. The relay to first. And they got him. He hung on to the bag. That's a double play. And New Trier is really hot on that one. They thought once again the relay pulled Vitale off the bag. The call was made, and it's a 6:43 double play, and New Trier is out. We will go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Neuqua Valley leading the Trevians 5-1 in your AA state championship here on the IHSA Internet Radio Network.
What do high school activities mean to your community?
It means I don't have to worry about what my teenage daughter is doing after school.
It means I have something to look forward to every Friday night.
If my team works hard, we may have a chance to win the state championship.
High school sports and activities play an important role in every Illinois community. They help young people learn important lessons and develop valuable life skills. And it's been that way for more than 100 years.
I can't imagine my community without high school sports and activities.
Be a fan. Join the fun. Support your local high school athletic and activity programs. This message has been brought to you by the IHSA, celebrating more than 100 years of high school sports and activities in Illinois.
A message from the Ad Council and the National PTA. Basketball great Charles Barkley.
As we go now to the bottom of the 6th inning, Neuqua Valley trying to pad their lead. They're 3 defensive outs away, Dave Bernhardt.
They will bat, having just 1 hit and 5 runs on the board. And leading it off will be Travis Weldon, the designated hitter for pitcher Ben Gibson. That first pitch is outside from Jack Boehm, who came on in relief in the 4th inning for New Trier. From the windup, off-speed pitch is hit into the air to left field. Left fielder Hall slides a little bit to his left, and he will make the catch for out number 1.
You know, it's not a done deal yet, Dave, but, you know, if this result holds up as is, who in the world would have guessed that Neuqua Valley would defeat such a feared team as New Trier with 5 runs and only 1 hit on the board?
That question could possibly be answered in the next 15 minutes. Chris Krupe stands in, take a strike. Krupe walked and scored. It's part of that 5-run 4th inning. Next pitch from Boehm is low. It's 1-1. It's been big innings today for Neuqua Valley.
Well, you can say that again.
In the semifinals against Washington, Neuqua Valley, a 4-run first, a 5-run second. They eventually scored 2 in the 4th to put it away, and here a 5-run 4th inning in this championship game. Krupe on the 1-1. Inside, it is 2-1, 2-1. Again, 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors for New Trier. 5 runs, 1 hit, no errors. It's a 3-run double by Pete Back. It's making that score a 4-run difference. Another ball gets loose in the bullpen as there is activity down there. That might be Kroll just staying loose. The Neuqua Valley bullpen. Here's Bames, 2-1 pitch. It's into the dirt. It's 3-1 on deck. Anthony Amade. Krupe steps back in. Once again, the New Trier outfielders playing him straight up. Once again, time is called. And not sure what the delay is this time. We're ready to go. Krupe steps back in. From the full windup, Bame delivers, taking it all the way, and that's ball 4. It's low. 1-out walk puts Chris Krupe down at first base. We'll bring up Amade. 0 for 1 tonight. He has walked and scored.
Krupe, his second walk of the ball game there. And now will we have a pitching change here or just a meeting?
There is activity in that New Trier bullpen, and I think we will get a change up. 2 pitchers going for Neuqua Valley the other way. One of them warming up is Jeff Rowan, who threw a 5-inning no-hitter earlier today and only threw 53 pitches. Now he can throw 2 more innings. As Amade now steps in against Blanchard. Lefty versus lefty here. 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning. Neuqua Valley, the 5-1 lead. Amade shows bunt and pulls it back. The ball is outside, and it's ball 1. Taking his lead at first is Krupe. Blanchard, the lefty, looks right at him, kicks, pitches, swing and a miss by Amade. Not a good swing there. Looked like he wanted to start, stop, and eventually swung and miss. Blanchard goes his stretch. The pitch, this ball is bunted foul back over the backstop. Comes in to the stands below us. And speaking of the stands below us, this is the biggest crowd I've ever seen for a state championship game. All the way around here, and just gauging for all the Joliet Jackhammer games that I have been to, I'm going to guess that we have a crowd of close to 4,000 here tonight.
Obvious congratulations go out to the IHSA and also the teams competing here this weekend, the final weekend of high school sports in Illinois for 06-07. Whoa, look out there.
That pitch is up and in. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Beautiful evening here, currently 72 degrees, clear skies, no wind in Joliet. And a great weekend of baseball again here in the far southwestern suburbs of Illinois, of Chicago, Illinois.
And Amade looks at strike 3 in that outside corner. He'll take it and he'll head back to the bench. Well, J.B. Blanchard does have statistics. They're just listed under another name. He comes in with a 4-0 record and a 1.69 earned run average in 29 innings. He's given up 20 hits, struck out 28, and has walked 19.
So 2 down in the inning now. It looks like for Dave Back, the number 9 hitter.
Oh, Back. What a night he has had. We'll take the first pitch up and in. Back tonight, offensively, has the big hit of the game. A 3-run, 2-out double that has made this a 5-1 game. Black also has the defensive play of the game. This ball is jam shot foul out of play. It was Back that made an outstanding catch way back in the top half of the 2nd inning. A run did score on it. However, his great catch ended up stopping the inning after that run scored because he was able to double off Ben Gardner at second base and stop the New Trier threat. He fakes a bunt and pulls back. The count is 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. We have 2 outs. New Trier will get one last shot. They'll do it with 5, 6, 7 in their order. Back again attempts to bunt and bunts it foul in front of his own dugout on the third base side of this field. Quiet side is the New Trier side. The side that's buzzing is Neuqua Valley. They could be ready to burst here in a few minutes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Back. He looks at ball 3. Now the runner at first, Chris Krupe, will be off on the pitch. He'll make sure that Blanchard will go home. Napoleon will back off of holding Krupe at first base. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. It's high, ball 4. Runners first and second to the top of the order and Rob Elliott. So Krupe will walk into second base. Brings up Elliott tonight 0 for 3. fly out and a couple of ground outs.
Well, it might be a keen grasp of the obvious here, Dave, but now with Krupe in scoring position at second base, New Trier has to hold them. They still have one last crack at it in the 7th inning, and they're within a grand slam of tying it if they can somehow load the bases.
Pitch down and into Elliott.
But first you need to keep Neuqua Valley at 5.
Still only one hit on the board for the Neuqua Valley Wildcats. It was 2 errors, 3 walks, and a hit batter in that inning that scored 5. And this pitch is taken by Elliott for a strike. It's 1-1. Elliott in the tournament, only 1 for 11 at the plate. He's been marvelous defensively. Leadoff hitter here for Neuqua Valley. Pitch from Blanchard. It's inside and goes behind him. That was a breaking ball that actually started about his head and then broke behind him. That nearly hit his bat that was sticking back over his shoulder.
We saw that happen to Will Hebert earlier in the game, and after that, Hebert really unraveled. And I would guess, Dave, if that had happened, if that had hit the bat on his shoulder, it would have been a foul ball, right?
And if it goes fair, it's a fair ball, yeah. Here's the pitch, and it's hit foul. Good cut by Elliott. It goes out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes.
New set of baseballs brought in behind home plate. As the championship medallions and trophies now have been assembled and gathered.
Once again, Deuces Wild, ×2 on the board. 2-2-2-2. Batter number 2. Rob Elliott, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-1 Neuqua Valley lead, looking for more. Here's the pitch from Blanchard. Chopped foul off the foot of Elliott. It rolls out to the pitcher, Blanchard. However, Elliott will hobble around. You remember about an inning ago or 2 innings ago, Elliott hurt his lower leg running through the bag at first base. I don't know if he caught it off the same spot, but he's really getting beaten up down there. And his head coach, Robin Renner, who's in his 9th year with 209. Elliott will step back in. From the set. The pitch is a curveball, and it is called strike 3. So Blanchard came on and got out of the jam despite walking 1 man. He struck out 2. We will go to the 7th. Neuqua Valley 3 outs away from a state championship. New Trier fighting to stay alive.
Why can't you come?
First ever title. As we head now to the top half of the 7th inning, it is do or die for New Trier. They have the ability to do it. Let's see what can happen here in the 7th inning as we head back to Dave Bernhardt.
When you come in with 36 wins in 40 games, you really don't know how to lose, and that's how New Trier will approach the bottom half of the top half of this 7th inning down to their final outs. They will start it with Ben Gardner. He has singled in 2 trips to the plate tonight. Ian Kroll is on the mound. His first pitch is a fastball, and it hits the outside corner. Strike 1. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the order, and actually go all the way up to number 1 in the order. A combined 1 for 10 tonight. There's a fastball up and away. The count evens at a ball and a strike.
This would be the second runner-up finish for New Trier if it finishes this way. They were runner-up back in the 1999 AA tournament.
Here's Kroll's pitch. That's a fastball, and that's down the middle, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
They won the tournament back in 2000, capping off a 35-7 season.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball got away from Kroll, left it outside. It's 2-2.
Well, this is a case here, Dave, where if you're a coach, and I think this is what they've been trying to do the last couple of innings. I mean, the first 2 at-bats of the 6th inning took a long time. They're just trying to be patient here, knowing they need a lot of base runners.
2-2 pitch, called strike 3. 1 gone in the 7th.
Boy, that was a perfect pitch there.
Fastball right in on the inside corner, and that froze Gardner. Will Neal, the designated hitter, he's 0 for 2 tonight. Quick conversation with Mike Napoleon. And now he'll come into the batter's box, a pair of white batting gloves on, White wristbands up on each of his 2 forearms. And everybody here on the Neuqua Valley side standing on their feet. There's a fastball, and that starts off Neal with a strike. The Neuqua Valley students have moved from behind the dugout in the screen. They are now going up and over onto the grassy berm down the left field side in anticipation of the next 2 outs. Here's a pitch fouled back, and Neal is down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Boy, a steady stream of Neuqua Valley students making their way up the aisle here just in front of the third base dugout and going up onto the concourse. It's like a parade, and they all come down on the berm.
No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch outside, 1-2. 5-1 is the Neuqua Valley lead with 1 out in the top of the 7th. State championship hanging in the balance here for the Wildcats. Ian Kroll, the left-handed sophomore. The pitch, check swing outside. Did he go? They will appeal. No, he did not. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kroll gets back on the rubber. Neal is not yet ready in the batter's box. Adjusts those batting gloves, and now he will step in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 gone in the inning.
And Neuqua Valley here, Dave, trying to finish things off with a flourish here, perhaps striking out the side, as it's all up now to Danny Fritz.
And they are jumping up and down in the Neuqua Valley dugout. Andy Fritz at the plate. He has driven in the only Neuqua Valley run, or the only New Trier run here tonight. Here's a fastball starting him out right down the middle, strike 1. It was Fritz's sacrifice fly that gave New Trier their only run in the 2nd inning. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch from Kroll, outside, 1-1. Neuqua Valley fans on their feet, ready to explode. Here's the 1-1 pitch on its way. Swing and a foul. They're down to their final strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kroll steps back off onto the grass behind the mound. Sophomore now steps back up onto the hill. He's ready to go. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Down a little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, that was an interesting pitch to take. It looked very, very close from here, but a great eye there by Fritz. Keeping the game alive, but just barely.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Into the air, foul territory, right field side. Twisting away and falling into the bullpen. Nobody can get it there. Right fielder Chris Krupe, second baseman Anthony Amade, first baseman Pete Vitale will return to their positions. And now the catcher Brad Kimball out to talk to Kroll. Nobody on here with 2 outs in the 7th. Neuqua Valley only 1 hit in this game, yet they lead it and are 1 pitch away from a 5-1 state championship victory. Danny Prince steps back in. Kroll from the full windup. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball. Oh, didn't get the call. It is 3-2. That pitch looked pretty good from a lot of people in the stands.
Look out.
But here we go. Here's the full count pitch. On its way. Swinging a line drive center field. Back is there. He's got it. And Neuqua Valley is your 2007 state AA baseball champions.
And how appropriate for Pete Beck to make the final out of the game.
And the fireworks go up in the sky in Joliet as the Neuqua Valley Wildcats bedlam in the middle of the diamond here at Silver Cross Field. There were 2 separate piles initially, and now it's 1 mob of Wildcats. 5-1 winners over pre-tournament favorite New Trier. The Neuqua Valley fans enjoying the heck out of this with a big fireworks show going on in the background. New Trier fans, many of them turning their backs and they're heading up to the exits. The state championship trophy and the 2nd place trophy now being brought out behind home plate. And maybe one of the more unlikely state champions. When you came into this tournament, the attention was focused on the New Triers, on the St. Rita's, on the Edwardsvilles. It was almost an afterthought to think of Neuqua Valley in that same level. But here they come, 7-4 winners over Edwardsville. A dominating 11-0 performance in the semifinals, and now a 5-1 state championship victory over the New Trier Tributes.
Now the fireworks continuing. This is quite a display here at the end of this ball game. They're being lit up and fired from beyond the center field fence into the twilight sky here on a picture-perfect late spring evening here in Joliet, Illinois, as the Neuqua Valley Wildcats, your 2007 Class AA baseball champions, and depending on whether or not the softball game is over, the championship softball game, we may have seen the final play of the two-class system here in the state of Illinois. I don't know if that game is still going on.
We'll be able to check that during our break, and we will take one right now as the fireworks continue in the sky. The fireworks continue on the Neuqua Valley side of this field as the Wildcats have won your 2007 Boys AA State Baseball Championships. 5-1 winners over New Trier, and we'll be back and wrap things up from Silver Cross Field in Joliet right after this on the IHSA Internet Radio Network.
Walk into a car dealership and it seems like there are more than enough choices. Models, colors, and all sorts of options. Choosing the right car for your lifestyle or personality is one of the fun parts of owning a car. Finding the right auto insurance? Seems like there are just as many options, but it's not nearly as much fun. It's too overwhelming. That's where your local Country Insurance and Financial Services agent comes in, helping you find the right policy. Country offers competitive rates and discounts for good drivers, multi-car families, good students, and many others. And if you're ever in a fender bender or worse, it's nice to know Country will be there to provide fast and fair claims service. Sure, it's not as exciting as buying a car with all the latest gadgets, but your Country agent can make sure things keep running smoothly. Country. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is our country.
This presentation of the IHSA Boys Baseball Tournament is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
What do high school activities mean to your community?
It means I don't have to worry about what my teenage daughter is doing after school.
It means I have something to look forward to every Friday night.
If my team works hard, we may have a chance to win the state championship.
High school sports and activities play an important role in every Illinois community. They help young people learn important lessons and develop valuable life skills. And it's been that way for more than 100 years.
I can't imagine my community without high school sports and activities.
Be a fan. Join the fun. Support your local high school athletic and activity programs. This message has been brought to you by the IHSA, celebrating more than 100 years of high school sports and activities in Illinois.
Well, the fireworks continuing on. I got to tell you, as a fan of pyrotechnics, this is a fabulous display here. Being put on beyond the center field fence. This is better, quite frankly, than some 4th of July.
Say if. But the bottom line is, when all the plays had to be made, Neuqua Valley made the most of them, and that's why they're the state champs.
Well, they made the most of, really, when you take a look at the situation here. They only had one hit in the game, and that might not be completely indicative of the limited number of opportunities they had, but I think it is at least an indication. Indication. I'm going to contradict myself there. It gives you an idea, anyway. It might not be completely accurate about the limited number of opportunities, but it's indicative of the limited number of opportunities. How's that for being a wordsmith there? And the idea being that they took advantage of what few opportunities they had. And Pete back drilling that double into the gap in left center field. It started the merry-go-round. It was a three-run double, broke up a 2-1 game. And in the end, those were the last runs we had scored in the 2007 baseball season.
Very happy times in Naperville because that city has claimed the last 2 state championships. in boys AA. Last year it was Naperville Central that won it all. And this year, Neuqua Valley, their mailing address is Naperville. So congratulations to that city as they joined Columbia as our state champions here in 2007 in boys baseball. Columbia winners last week 4-1 over Pinckneyville for the Class A title. And here tonight on a beautiful evening for baseball and a fitting way to end what has started out to be a rugged weather baseball season. Neuqua Valley, the state champs, the final score 5-1 over New Trier. Congratulations to both the Trevians and especially to the Wildcats for their performance here in this tournament this year.
So 5-1 the final score. The medallions about to be handed out and the trophies about to be handed out, as well as the awards presentation. Again, part of the pageantry of the state baseball championship experience. As 5-1 the final score, and New Trier, I guess you could call this game where they were, some people might say they were upset in this game. Definitely one of the favorites coming into the tournament, but Neuqua Valley, I think the story of this game is Neuqua Valley, when they had to come through, they did.
They did, and that's what they did in this tournament when they took advantage of mistakes that Edwardsville made last night in the quarterfinals. They did. When they had to make the defensive plays, they did. And that is what state championship teams do. Did they have the best pitching staff through the entire season? Maybe, maybe not. Did they have the best offensive lineup through the entire season? Maybe, maybe not. Did they have the best defensive team? We don't know that either. But here for 3 games in Joliet, they did not lose a game. They are your state champions.
So again, 5-1 the final score here as we get ready to wrap things up here tonight. And, you know, it's a cliche, but again, New Trier, no reason to hang their heads. I mean, obviously they want to win the championship. Every team does that makes it here to the quarterfinal round and ultimately to the state championship round. But in the end, again, it's a cliche, but I think it applies especially to high school sports. Down the road, they'll look back and they'll definitely be proud of the season they had here in 2007.
They will always have those medals hanging around their neck. They'll have that championship trophy they can visit, or that second place trophy they can visit in their trophy case in Wilmette. And they will also look and say, you know what? We won 36 of our 41 games we played this year. We just didn't win the last one.
So we're about here to wrap it up at Joliet Silver Cross Field on just a fantastic night here. What a great weekend we've had weather-wise, and this year, the first year of the AA tournament here in Joliet. You've been here for the past 2 weeks, and our great congratulations to all the staff here at Silver Cross Field and all the volunteers for the IHSA that put on what turned out to be, you were here for both weekends, 2 very, very entertaining baseball tournaments.
Very entertaining tournaments, very well-run tournaments, very fan-friendly tournaments, very media-friendly tournaments. And for the teams, I know they've enjoyed playing here. Memories that will never be taken away. Congratulations to Joliet for 2 outstanding weekends here for the IHSA boys baseball tournaments.
Well, this about wraps it up here for our 4th year of coverage on the IHSA Internet Radio Network. Always, for me anyway, I don't know about you, Dave, it's always the toughest part of the year in a way to wrap things up. So many people to thank, our announcers throughout the year. Jim Taylor, Kevin McCaffrey, they handled volleyball. That's when they began things last November. Rex Martin was there at football and also at basketball. Brett Myers calling soccer, along with Lee Hall, Mark Vasco, Dave Bernhardt here to my left. Wayne Randazzo, one of our new announcers this year. He called the Class A girls soccer a couple of weeks ago. And then, of course, all of our great supporters at the IHSA. You could not have better partners for a project like this over the last 4 years. Executive Director Marty Hickman, and then all of the administrators of the various tournaments. Anthony Holman, of course, who runs the basketball and baseball tournaments, and Dave Ganaway, Ron McGraw, Beth Sauzer, who helped us out in our first year of soccer coverage. Kurt Gibson, who handles the softball every year. Great pleasure, as always, working with the Illinois High School Association, and we look forward now to year 5, as we'll be back with you in November when we tee things up for volleyball. And looking back on the year, congratulations to Dave Bernhardt, all of the state champions in 2006 and 2007.
Again, memories that cannot be taken away from anybody. I mean, I don't care what you do, 25, 30, 40 years from now, you can still say, I've won a state championship, or I participated in the state finals. I was there when this happened. Now, granted, this year different. This will be another historic moment we move forward from here in Illinois high school sports. The multi-class system will be expanded next year. So this wraps up an era in and of itself. And again, you can look forward to nothing but great stuff coming from the high school athletes that entertain us every single time out. It truly is some of the greatest sports moments you will ever experience, whether you're a parent, you're a fan, you're a player, or a member of the media, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Also, our great thanks all year long to our great partners at allinbroadcasting.com, our master control through which we stream our signal. President Sean O'Connor, also he's the internet engineer on many of our broadcasts. Owen Boyle today and on other of our broadcasts this year. And my thanks again today to Billy Jackson, our video camera operator. My thanks to Mr. Jackson as he came by, and we'll be able, hopefully, in the next few days to be able to put up a video feed of these last few games on the World Wide Web. So my thanks to Billy Jackson for putting in a long day's work after a long day yesterday. But overall, this is something I like to say. Most of all, the thanks go out, the most heartfelt thanks go out to the listeners, because as I like to say, it's a little point I like to make at the end of any broadcast season, and I think it's something media people forget sometimes, but without an audience, you and I would not be here.
I always like to say, you only have leaders if you have followers. You only have a broadcast if you have listeners. And we appreciate the support, both in terms of the fans that appreciate high school sports and those that just want to hear about maybe their son, their grandson, their granddaughter. And this gives them an opportunity. Again, Tom Westenfeld, I thank you on behalf of all of those fans and players and administrators throughout the state for what you have done to put together this internet radio network where we can live moments live, we can relive them archived, and they will for always be there for us. So thank you very much for your completion of your 4th year in this endeavor.
Well, I appreciate it, and it is indeed a labor of love. I grew up, was born in Chicago, grew up in the state of Illinois. I talked about it earlier. I mean, I began to watch the Class A and AA tournaments when I was 8 or 9 years old on television, and what made it a special memory, and I don't want to be too dramatic or too emotional or whatever, but I had a relative who has since passed, a grandfather whose birthday was on St. Patrick's Day, and every year we'd have a big family gathering, and what would we be watching if it happened to be on that day? When we were young, it would be the IHSA basketball tournament, and that's how my affection for the IHSA and what it brings to the state of Illinois, that's when that began, and I've been so privileged to be able to work here now over the last 4 years calling IHSA events with all of the rest of the broadcasters, and literally